HKTV cannot launch mobile TV services in July as planned. 2 men on missing flight using false passports ID'd as Iranian. And Japan marks the 3rd anniversary of a triple disaster.
Good evening. Hong Kong Television Network's plan to launch a mobile TV service in July cannot go ahead for now. The Communications Authority has told the company it must guarantee that its programs reach no more than 5,000 households. Otherwise, HKTV needs to apply for a free-to-air TV or pay TV license. Jenny Lam reports.
Hong Kong Television Network Chairman Ricky Wong says it's a joke that the government demands that they reach no more than 5,000 households, while under mobile TV regulations, their signals have to cover at least 50% of all the local households.
Well, I think there's a very simple answer is what technology can I use such that I can implement our broadcasting plan legally.
He was referring to his plan to provide TV services in July using mobile television license. Today, he received a lawyer's letter from the government telling him that he might breach the broadcasting ordinance if his programs reach more than 5,000 households. Wong says past government documents do not link the mobile TV platform with the broadcasting ordinance. He will seek legal advice on the licensing problems. Hong Kong Television Network will now suspend its program production. There will be no redundancy in the company for now, and it will now focus on internet and new media services. Yesterday, Director General of Communications Eliza Lee explained at a meeting of the LegCo panel on information technology and broadcasting that HKTV has a unified carrier license which allows it to provide programs to mobile devices. But the broadcasting ordinance states that companies which provide TV programs to more than 5,000 households need a separate broadcasting license. The government turned down HKTV's application for a free-to-air TV license last December. Ricky Wong then bought the mobile TV platform from China Mobile for $140 million. The plan was to provide 35 channels by July. Wong rehired his employees who faced job loss when the company's bid for the free-to-air TV license failed. Today, they face an uncertain future again. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
In an update to the Malaysia Airlines plane that vanished on Saturday, authorities have identified both men who used stolen passports as being Iranian. They believe one man was trying to seek asylum in Germany. But with still no sign of the missing jetliner, rescue teams are expanding their search to include both land and sea. The theory that an act of terrorism brought down Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was weakened a bit today with the revelation of this photo. The man in the photo is one of 2 passengers who boarded the flight with stolen passports. Malaysian police say he's a 19-year-old Iranian national who is thought to be trying to seek asylum in Germany.
We believe that he is not likely to be a member of any terrorist group. And we believe that he is trying to migrate to Germany.
Police say the man's mother was waiting for him in Frankfurt and is now working with authorities. The other man traveling on a stolen passport has only been identified as a young Iranian. The baffling mystery over the fate of the missing Boeing 777 and its 239 passengers and crew has investigators juggling a number of theories.
We are looking into 4 areas. 1 is hijacking, 2, sabotage, 3, psychological problem of the passengers and crew, and 4, personal problem among the passengers and crew.
As part of the investigation, police are studying airport video to see if any of the passengers exhibited suspicious behavior.
We are also going through all the video footage, the whole day from the 7th and the 8th.
Experts say planes flying over land are tracked by radar, while those flying over water are tracked by GPS. For many routes around the world, the gap between communications could be as long as an hour. Because Malaysian military radar suggests the plane may have turned back, authorities are broadening their search to cover areas of land.
The area of search has been expanded in the South China Sea. We have expanded to 100 kilometers radius of Igari.
The search zone now also includes Malaysia's mainland and the waters to the northwest. A total of 10 countries are now scouring land and sea with 48 ships and 34 planes.
Some family members of passengers on board the missing flight MH370 arrived in Kuala Lumpur this morning. The 12 people include 9 Chinese and 3 Indians. Malaysia Airlines told them they can stay for 1 week in Kuala Lumpur regardless of whether the plane is located by then. They are staying at a different hotel from the one where families of the Malaysian passengers are waiting for news of the search. In Beijing, many people are also waiting for the latest information. Malaysia Airlines officials had little new to tell the anxious families this afternoon. They have been waiting at a hotel since the plane went missing 3 days ago.
Japan today marked the 3rd anniversary of the earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster that devastated the country's northeast. Both Emperor Akihito and Prime Minister Shinzo Abe attended a memorial service to mourn the victims. And as Tony Sabine reports, Japan's nuclear policy is once again under scrutiny.
3 years on, and the scars remain. Life was changed forever in Fukushima, which was made a ghost town in the 2011 triple disaster that left nearly 20,000 people dead or missing. A 20-kilometer zone around the Daiichi nuclear power plant is still deserted. The radiation level was several times higher than that of nearby areas. Many survivors are still living in temporary homes, with very little hope of returning to where they used to live. This woman recalled going to see her old home near the nuclear plant. There are rats and snakes everywhere, she said. We can't go back to the past, and I don't know where I'll live in the future. In Tokyo, remembering those who perished. Emperor Akihito and Prime Minister Shinzo Abe led a silent prayer in a memorial. Akihito said all Japanese people should unite so that those affected by what happened could still keep their hopes alive. And he bemoaned the fact that many people still haven't been able to return to their homes. Abe echoed those views. Speeding up the recovery process so that those who are displaced can return to a normal life as soon as possible is the only way we can repay the souls of the victims, he said. But back at Fukushima, some took the opportunity to criticize the government's nuclear policy. Dozens rallied against what they see as the country's over-reliance on nuclear power. And according to the results of a nationwide survey released yesterday, the number of Japanese who want a complete end to nuclear power has grown in the past couple of years to 30%. But Abe has promised to push through with plans to restart his country's idled reactors. Tony Sabine, TVB News.
Russia is drafting a counter-proposal to U.S. plan for a negotiated settlement to the crisis in Ukraine. Russia's foreign minister has denounced the American proposal as unacceptable.
The Kremlin's move comes as Russian forces strengthen their hold on Crimea, less than a week before the strategic region is to hold a contentious referendum on whether to become a part of Russia. Western leaders have said the referendum is illegal and are threatening further sanctions against Russia if it's held. In a televised briefing with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the U.S. plan is not suitable because it takes the situation created by a coup as a starting point. Moscow does not recognize the new Ukrainian government. Lavrov said Russia has decided to prepare new proposals, but he did not say what they are. In Washington, State Department officials said Russia's refusal to discuss the American proposals are hurting prospects for a negotiated settlement. Washington is insisting on direct talks between Russian officials and the new Ukrainian government.
A big part of the discussion is the mechanism for how we're going to have a format for the two sides to get together. There's a range of questions that can be posed about that, so that's what we're waiting to hear back on.
Psaki said it is possible U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry could meet with Lavrov before Sunday's referendum in Crimea. Meanwhile, U.S. President Barack Obama spoke with President Xi Jinping late Sunday in an effort to get China off the fence on the Ukraine issue. The phone call was the first known conversation they've had since Russia took control of Crimea.
The two leaders agreed on the importance of upholding the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And as you know, there is no argument that, or should be no argument, that Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity were violated by Russia.
However, it's still unclear which side, if any, Beijing will take. And in Russia today, Ukraine's ousted president, Viktor Yanukovych, made a statement maintaining he remains president and commander-in-chief. He termed the presidential election set by the new government for May 25th illegal. He vowed to return to Ukraine as soon as circumstances allow. Alan Bookniat, TVB News.
Israeli guards shot and killed a Jordanian judge yesterday. Israeli authorities claim the man tried to grab a rifle from a soldier while crossing the border from Jordan into the West Bank. The man was identified as a judge working in Amman since 2009. Shootings at the border crossing are rare, as the terminal is operated jointly by Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinian Authority. Over in Amman, people expressed outrage over the killing. About 150 residents began protesting near the Israeli embassy. They called on the Jordanian government to deport the Israeli ambassador and annul the peace treaty with Israel. Israel and Jordan signed a peace agreement 20 years ago and currently have tight security ties.
And still ahead in our newscast, chicken traders call for an early lifting of an import ban. A more than 2% fall in the MTR's net profit last year, and a survey on local employers' hiring intentions.